is up, my AoE anarchist? Risen Dragon is here. We're back for a few videos at the very least. I know it's been about 6 months. But yeah, life really got complicated and in the way. I shouldn't say complicated. It just got in the way as far as our content creation was concerned. But that's a story for another day. Today we are looking at one of the new civs that came out in the Last Chieftains DLC that was released back about 2 weeks ago. And it's the Tupi. Now, there are 3 civs that came from this. The Tupi, which we're going to look at today, as well as the Mapuche and the Muisca that came with this new civ. Also, too, the Inca. I want to point out as well, the Inca got some of the same benefits that these 3 civs got. So let's do a deep dive into the Tupi, because that's the one we're looking at today. And more than likely, this is going to be the one that we go with for a few. But anyways, the Tupi are an archer and infantry civ. They start with 25 more of each resource, and that's important because there's a strat that has come out lately where basically it's almost like a Lithuanian drush. Basically, you've got enough resources where you can build 2 houses and a barracks and still have enough for several of our chompy scouts, which we're going to go into in a minute, to perform a drush, a Dark Age rush. We're not going to do that in the first game, just throwing that out there. But that is one of the big advantages that they have. The villagers can garrison settlements, kind of like the Khmer in the houses. Fallen units return 15% of their costs. That is huge. So you can actually build up an army early on, kill it, and then get some of it back, which is actually insanely good, I think. Archery range and barracks upgrades cost 50% less food. That's also massive. Unique units. We're going to go into their unique units in a minute. Blackwood Archer, which is a foot archer, and Ibirapema Warrior, which is infantry. They're unique techs, Kakiks, which are Champy Warriors and Slingers, which we're going to go into also in a moment. Attack with 25% faster, and Kurare, which are foot archers and fortifications, and they deal poison damage. Also, too, team bonus. Towers and castles provide plus 10 population space, so we could actually get away with a tower rush as well with the Tupi, which we actually do try to pull off in the game. So, really fun, aggressive civ. This civ fits my style. I'm finding my style is very aggressive, very pressure oriented. If you've seen my videos with the Celts, those videos definitely show that style. As I take a sip of coffee here. All right, let's get back to it. So, the big thing with this is the barracks. We don't have men-at-arms. We don't have militia with these civs, and the Inca get this too. We get the chompy scouts. They're all-purpose infantry for scouting and raiding. They can build outposts, which is incredibly important. You can spy. They're strong versus foot archers and siege weapons and buildings, but they're weak against cavalry. So basically, they replace the Eagle Scout for the Incas with something maybe a little bit more historically accurate. The Tupi, by the way, were the one of the major tribes in what became Brazil, by the way. So the Chompy Scouts, this is where it gets really interesting, because they don't have this. They have for this one they have 35 hit points, 4 attack, 0 armor, but 2 pierce armor. So these sorts of things add up, and they're very effective for an early rush. All right, so they get their standard, and then you go up through. You get Chompy Runner, you get Chompy Warrior, and then finally you get Elite Chompy Warrior, which goes up to an 11 attack. For the Tupi, for the very least, they also get Ibrapema Warrior. Now, this is an interesting one because this is an infantry with a powerful frontal attack area, and I was reading it's a cone-shaped area. It's not like a straight line. It's cone-shaped. So it's really effective against, like, masses of infantry. So that's a fun one to have. They also get squires, they get arson as well. Archery range, because this is an archer civ. They get slingers, which are anti-infantry skirmishers that cannot attack at close range. They're strong versus infantry, monks, and siege weapons, but they're weak versus ranged soldiers and cavalry. So they're not a counter to archers. The skirms still have that, but as far as the Tupi is concerned, they get all the upgrades for their archery range all the way up through Arbalester. As far as their siege workshop, they pretty much get everything except siege onager and bombard cannons, which are kind of cool. The blacksmith, they get everything but blast furnace, and that's it. I mean, that's important, though. I say that's it. That's important. Very important. They get all the archer upgrades as well. Docks, there's some new things here with the... with the Chieftains DLC, you get warships, which, I mean, honestly, I don't really play water maps, so yeah, this to me is not as important. But if it's important to you, medium warships, basically they upgrade the galleys, and it lets you build war galleys, fire ships, and war hulks, and then you get the heavy warships, which basically upgrades them as well. But also, too, they get Catapult Galleon, which is an anti-siege warship, anti-building siege warship with long range, but cannot attack enemies at close range. So you get that. And also Hulks are a new thing, which is a warship with a close range melee attack, strong versus fire ship. So it's almost like a fire ship counter. As far as the university is concerned, the Tupi buildings are really weak. They don't get masonry or architecture, so that's something you have to bear in mind. They also don't get siege engineers, shipwright, Carvel Hull, incendiaries, bombard towers, or siphons. So yeah, this is one of those things where aggression is the big thing with the Tupi, because if you're if you're still surviving in Imperial, you're dying with the Tupi as far as I'm concerned, because you don't have the same, your buildings aren't as strong, but yet, if you get an archer ball, you're actually in pretty good shape. I'll take that back. If you make it to Imp with the Tupi, all right. I mean, you can make it work. There's also no fortified wall either. No bombard towers. Our castles are Blackwood archers. These are unique foot archers. They're trained in pairs, and they takes only half population space. Strong in high numbers. So basically, it's almost like the what are those? The Malay special units. I can't think of them off the top of my head because it's 6:45 in the morning, and I woke up probably about 20 minutes ago to do the video. So I can't think of them off the top of my head. It'll come to me. But anyways, so that's also part of it. You get these things. Now, are they... they got 5 range upgrades, but they're very, very... they only have 25 hit points, so they're not very durable. Or 20, to be completely honest. So they're not very durable. Excuse me. So we have Kakiks, which we've talked about, and Kodare, which is important as well. Their monks are actually pretty technologically diverse, I guess you could say. They don't have atonement. They don't have block printing. They don't have fervor. But they do, of course, get, sanctity, heresy, herbal medicine, redemption, devotion, those sorts of things. So the monasteries are, the monastery of the Tupi is actually pretty stout as well. So that's pretty good. They don't get crop rotation, they don't get stone shaft mining, but they get everything else as far as their settlements are concerned. And that's another thing too. Settlements, they don't have the camps. They don't have the lumber camp, the mining camp, the mill. It's settlements. They're used to deposit all resources and research economic technologies. That provides for 5 population space. And that's also a strategy with the Tupi, is you can place these settlements in areas where you can gather very much, you could easily build one between berries and a tree line, a wood line, and as soon as you build that, you can go to forage, and it's you don't have to build 2 separate buildings. They cost 125 wood, but I mean, these are incredibly stout and versatile units and buildings. So that is pretty much it, I think, for the Tupi. I am going to say this: if you're a beginner, avoid these, because here's why. Because one, you're going to learn bad habits. That's the big thing, is you're going to learn bad habits. if you don't learn the traditional, with one of the quote-unquote traditional civs, like take the Celts or the Mongols, for example, because of the fact that they have their camps. All right, get into the habit of playing a civ that has those camps, because with this, you're going to get into a bad habit. And I think even for experienced players, I was reading online saying that, you know, it's messed up all my hotkeys and my APM. I'm like, I don't care about my APM. I just care about winning games, all right, and not getting, you know, tanked the whole time, or not tanked, that's not what I meant, not getting, you know, blown out of the water the whole time. So I think that when it comes to these civs, they're good for experienced players, or players that think they're experienced, like myself. But I think if you're a beginner and you're learning these, you're going to learn some bad habits. So stay away from these until you gain a little bit more experience. But I think with the Tupi, I think I say this every now and then. I think I found my civ. Okay, I think I found the civ that speaks to me, because I love the flexibility of the Tupi, and I realize that they're probably going to get nerfed over the next month or so. Not even the next month, maybe the next week or two. Because I'm going to say the Chompy strategy, the Chompy rush, is incredibly powerful. So I think we're gonna, you know, just kind of play as much as we can, and hopefully get some XP from it. So if you like what you see, please subscribe. We're gonna get into a game momentarily where I play the Tupi and do a pretty decent job with them. But again, if you like what you see, please subscribe. Without further ado, my AoE anarchists, let's get on to the battlefield. And we're going to pick up this game. We are playing... Oh, there it is. Right there. Give me a moment. We're going to pick up the game in the Dark Age. I am playing the Tupi, of course, and I'm against G. Coley 4599. They are playing the Franks. G. Coley, by the way, is from Spain. As you see here, we're going to speed up. We go 4 times through Dark Age before we hit Feudal. So there's our settlement. Now I'm going to pause it right here. There's our settlement. Settlements right there are, of course, as you can see, kind of replaces the camps. And as you see, I placed it, yeah, I probably could have put it a little bit more in between, but this is what you want to do with settlements with these new civs. You want to get them kind of in that nice sweet spot, kind of like right in there. So, anyways, as you see, I put 4 on a wood, so that does actually come into play. And we find their base there. We walked right under their PC, and we build it. We do get a barracks going, and we actually got their scout too. So that's that. So, and we get a settlement going here because, you know, we want to get to the gold, but also too we put it near a wood line, so that actually does come into play. I will admit this guy right here is a little bit exposed, but that's neither here nor there. Now, another thing, too, if you're new to my channel, I obsess over idle TC time. 35 seconds worth of idle TC. That's actually not bad for this level. Not bad at all. So anyways, as we go up to Feudal, I'm actually going to go just 2 times fast here. There we actually wall off pretty well. And as you can see, we wall off pretty well there. So. Alright, very good. So now, we don't go right away into producing warriors, per se, but we also, you know, we do a little bit of scouting there as well. We get our double bit, we get our horse collar, which you want to get those, make your farming, make your chopping a little bit more effective. We do get into some spears because of the fact that, one, we're playing against the Franks, and I don't have my scout, so we're just kind of going with it. Speaking of going with it, I think one thing you're going to see, I think a Tupi tower rush is going to be a thing. In fact, I think I might try that strat over the next few games. You see these guys idle a little bit more than I want, and I'm idling my TC way too much. But the point is, and you see there, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta make people. So watch what I do here. I kind of go in with these three. Yeah, we explore the map a little bit too, and we get attacked by panthers. And I'm like, all right, yeah, no, you're done. There we go. Bye, kitty. There we go. My last words could probably be, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. If not friend, why friend shaped? So here I find a little bit of gold deposit, and I find a tree line. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I've got some stone. Why don't we do that? And they start building. By the way, they really tower up. I don't know who hurt this person in the past, but they just go towers. They're like 1, 2, 3 towers. So anyways, we go with a settlement here, and then we go with an archery range there. And yeah, so in the archers, yeah, I want to say they come into play, but look at our eco though. I mean, they don't have a ton of. You see, they're kind of going AI army. We're just going skirms. We're going archers. We got some spears coming in. Again, a little bit of frontal aggression here. I really do think that with the extra resources, you put someone. Oh yeah, and then they find. Yep. And this is why we keep the. You see, they take out one of my vills, but that's neither here nor there. Or did they take out one? Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, they did. Pretty sure they did. But anyway, so now they start to... We go up to castle, by the way. And we start building, some more frontal barracks there with the fletching and stuff. So, as you can see, though, getting right in their faces here, that's kind of what you want to do with these Tupi. You really want to get them... You can get a rush going, absolutely, as you see our settlement being attacked. Now, I do delete my settlement, and I put it back here. Basically, I'm kind of like, whatever, I've got the resources. You shouldn't do that. Don't ever do that. It's a bad habit that I'm in, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, all right, I'll just delete it to... As you see, we take care of there, guys. And now let's look at our score, too. Don't let score intimidation affect you, because we hit castle way before they do. And they start to go castle, but we do have to take advantage of it. And not sure if we do or not. I believe we do start attacking. As you can see, my workers well out of the way. Back there. So they probably, in theory, should have been here. But also, too, one thing here. I'm seeing the tower here. So one thing you want to remember, too. Get your people, do more scouting here. As you see, I find more towers. Look how many towers this guy has. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 towers. Who hurt you, my friend? Who hurt you? And then they get a wonderful idea. And they go into the thing. They go to castle, and we get the squares. We take out their tower, by the way. We face some losses, but then they get the idea. Hey, let's build a castle in their face. Here's the thing about castles, my friends. Also, too, for whatever reason, I was sending my vills forward. Look at how much they can take under these towers. Hold on, I want to pause this. Look at these. The chumpies. They have 3. They have 4 pierce armor. So that's gonna make. That makes things. They're essentially taking 3 damage per strike, especially with these upgrades that they're getting. So these are incredibly resistant under ranged attack. So that is a massive difference. That is a massive advantage for the chompies. And then we just start taking out the castle. But then, Gicoli says, hey, let's try to get more people in. The problem is, Again, with the high pierce, it doesn't make much of a difference. I don't think I don't know if I've lost only 2 guys. I've lost only 2. And I just literally wrecked their entire eco. And they're gonna do more. They're insistent on getting this castle up. And I recognize that, hey, if I throw all my resources into that, and here's where they called it, because, 37 eco kills. They only had 11 vills left compared to our 49. They threw everything into this castle, and they only got about 84% of the way there. So I cannot stress enough how OP. I am going to say that the Tupi are OP. I do think that they are. They are very, very OP. They're more aggressive. They're built for drushes. That's not really my style. I will try it at some point if I feel like, hey, if the audience wants a Tupi drush, I will do it. I may not be successful. I may show you how not to do it, but at least you'll figure out something. So anyways, let's look at the stats. I mean, our military was massive. Our eco, they had more tech than we did, but that's neither here nor there. Our military was a lot larger. Our kill to death was 2 to 3 to 1, 2.3 to 1, which is pretty good. We only had 1 raising, which wasn't that. Let's see. As far as our eco was concerned, much more on the food, a little bit more on the gold, a little bit more on the way more on the stone for them. Stone was not really a big thing for me, but I do think that a Tupi tower rush, especially with the towers providing pop space, that is huge. I think. If you can pull that off, that might be our next video. I might work on a Tupi tower rush thing. So anyways, and also too, they spent a lot of gold and gained a lot of gold from buying and selling. So we did not, and we didn't collect any relics. Monk play is not our thing. Castle, we got up to castle about a little bit less than 3 minutes before they did. We didn't explore a lot. Society, we had 49 more vills, no castles. APM, I don't really focus much on APM. 16 for APM and all that. So I really do think that with the Tupi, and again, if you look at their pierce armor, 4 pierce armor, compare that to like a man-at-arms or the militia line and the traditional civs. That could be a massive advantage. Could be a massive advantage. So I do think that Tupi tower rushes are a thing, but they can also survive getting under castles too. I think that's also important. So, all right. So I hope you like this video. I hope it's informative, and we're gonna keep grinding. It's been a while. Like I said, life's been a little bit complicated recently, and by complicated, I mean busy. It's like knock on wood, everything's, going well as far as family and stuff is concerned. It's just really busy being an elected official and being in budget season, and we're coming out of that. So hopefully things will, knock on wood, hopefully things will start to settle down a little bit in that regard. But anyways, I hope you liked the video. I'm back for a few. Hopefully we'll get a video going later this week if time allows. Like I said, really busy. So if you like what you see, please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the battlefield, my AoE anarchists. Have yourself a great Sunday.